What is up, y'all? I wanted to make a short video. I was trying to make it a short form video, but then I realized it was taking too long. So I wanted to make it on here. I wanted to talk about my own personal experience with money. And now, a lot of people have been growing up with money knowing that it doesn't run this world, but it means a lot for you. It means a lot for a lot of people. And a lot of people sometimes attach themselves a lot to money. I did the same thing. Um, to the point where they don't feel good with or without it. They feel at peace whenever they have it, but once it gets taken away, well then they get fearful again. They get anxious, and even if they do have it, maybe sometimes they still do feel fear, and that's how it is. That instant, like that gratification you get from getting money, is such a temporary, peaceful moment until maybe it gets threatened, and then you feel anxious again. And I want to tell you how you can get over that in this short little video, right? So the other day I was having a conversation with this guy, and he was like, what is something God is pulling your attention towards to let go of / surrender to him, right? And I was like, I feel like I've always been in that sort of surrendering state, but lately, what has it been? And throughout my whole career I say career, but my whole journey of spirituality, money has always been a sort of core and sensitive subject. Well, I've been aware of all of those beliefs around it, but I always seem to just let it come back into my life. That I need it. That I need it to feel validated, to feel worthy, to feel like I have some status, or secure. And every time I had those thoughts that reflected those feelings, I would buy into those thoughts by overthinking all the time. I'd get scared. I'd get anxious. I'd want to control. I'd get worried when my bank account started going lower and lower, or when bills were coming up, or I needed to pay things off. And I just didn't like the feeling. I was like, why am I so wishy-washy, meaning up and down, with something that's so temporary? I'm not going to have money in the afterlife, or money's not always going to be here. You know what I mean? And so I always wondered, like, why am I so anxious? And I realized that like I said in the beginning, I attached my identity, my worthiness, my validation, my security to something external. And if I can take all those things I attach to money and place it inside myself first, then that money won't really make that much of a difference towards me, right? And so, mind you, I had this in my mind for so long that I've always attached that thing to it. Let's just detach it and put it inside myself. But your mind / this little child inside of you, your ego, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't leave you alone. You can become aware of those things, but then again, in a week, maybe two, maybe even months from now, you will find out that you're going back into that same old story, that same old program. And the only way you can become aware of that is by allowing those thoughts to flow. What I used to do was I used to have those thoughts pop up to my mind, and I'd be like, no, I can't have those thoughts. No, I shouldn't be worried about money. No, I'll be okay, I'll be okay, I'll be okay. But they always came back to this one saying that whatever you resist, it persists. So it'll just continue coming at you at 100 miles an hour unless you just not stop resisting and let it go through. So those thoughts, those anxious thoughts, they kept popping into my mind. But instead of me reacting to them, instead of me identifying with them, saying, hey, maybe it is something I need to worry about, or falling into that story, I simply just allowed those emotions, allowed those thoughts to flow past me. And now, don't get me wrong, I, of course, am not perfect. These things still bother me every now and then, but I've gotten a lot better at just allowing those emotions, allowing those sensations to flow in and out of my body. And now, the reason why I say sensations, you might be wondering, well, what does that got to do with your thoughts and feelings? Everything you feel flows through your body. So whatever you're thinking, let's say you're thinking about a negative thing, your body starts to tense up. Whenever you get angry, your fists clench. Whenever you get fearful, you get this tightness in your chest. Whenever all those things, you start to notice whenever you feel negativity, something tightens. And so whenever I felt fear, whenever I felt anxiety, whenever I felt like I couldn't trust what's going to happen in the future, aka trust God, I focused on my body, on what part of it was feeling tense. And most of the time it's either my hips, my chest, my core, or my back, my traps. Like it'd be a lot of my shoulders. And I just have to, or my jaw. And of course, I did that, and I was wondering, hey, why are the thoughts still here? As long as I can let go of the energy, the thoughts and everything's going to flow as fast as it can out of your body, and it will go away eventually. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. As long as you can let these sensations, let these feelings flow through your body, the thoughts, the stories, the labels, it's still gonna flow through your mind, but they have no sense of, there's no more weight towards it. I've noticed all those things that I used to worry about, all those anxieties and all that, they had so much less weight. It drove my attention so much less because I let go of the emotion behind it. And so the pattern starts to break. And once you start breaking the pattern, then, and I feel like only then, those core beliefs that you were working on in the beginning, that I am secure, that I am validated, that I am worthy, really start to shine up because you're finally uncovering what's covering it. You're finally taking off all the fear, the anxiety, attachment, and all that. Because you're not fighting with it no more. You're just letting it go. Something I've learned throughout my books that I've been reading. Like letting go of those emotions, letting go of those stories, letting go of those labels, those meanings inside your head is what ultimately allows you to find freedom. And a lot of times people get a lot of beliefs inside their heads. So that's the whole story. That's how I got over this, right? But there's obviously a lot of subtle things that could help you out. There's a lot of beliefs that gets placed inside you. Now, I mentioned this earlier, how your little childlike person, your ego or your mind likes to throw off all these anxieties, right? But you gotta understand that little version of yourself has been programmed since you were a kid. So whatever your parents believe, whatever you saw online, whatever your friends said, whatever someone you love said, those things probably stayed with you when you were little, and it's just been growing a big plant inside of you ever since. And so let's say your parents said when you were younger that money's hard to get, and you grow up and you believe the same thing, and you're wondering, why do I believe that? It stems from things that comes from your subconscious mind, from when you were little. And so how you break those things is everything I just told you. Stop attaching so much emotions towards those beliefs and allow those beliefs to flow in and out your body. There's some days where you're going to feel high and mighty and amazing, and some days you're going to feel like, dang, maybe I should just go back to the belief and doubt everything and have anxiety and have all these things. You will go back and forth and you will fail. But as long as you can continue becoming aware of those things, well, then you found the mighty jackpot, right? And trust me, I've been going through this money crisis, this whole identification and worthiness thing for so long. Literally last summer, I could you not, had like cents in my account, and I felt so like destroyed. But I always knew God was showing me that for a reason. And like just right now, I had to pay this thing, which honestly I kind of changed it into like a sort of investment in a way, because I'm gonna get the money that I put in back and more, guaranteed. So I'm not upset about it. I'll at least get my money back. I know that. More, there's a chance. It's not like an actual stock investment. Just understand that. But yeah, where was I going with that? I forget. But geez, I lost my train of thought. I hope that was enough though. Honestly, I'm surprised I got that much information out in 8 minutes. But yeah, that's been my whole letting go process, and how did I get over this money identification thing. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, leave comments, or hit me up on socials, Daydaytalkss. I think there's a link on my YouTube description. If not, I'll just put my name in the bio/description. But yeah, that's everything. I hope this helped. Getting rid of beliefs. I was talking about the childlike beliefs that you ingrained. That's what it was. Okay. Sidetrack. Forget my outro that I just did. Sorry. Those beliefs that you've been instilled, that's been instilled into yourself unknowingly, you gotta understand your childlike person, that child version of you, thought it was the best thing to think about, thought it was the truth. And so whenever those things start to pop up again, I know I told you not to resist them, but a lot of times I kind of regretted or got mad at my younger self, or I got mad at myself for still believing those things. But it's human. A lot of what I'm going through now is human. And I know God has put me through this path to maybe help you on the other side of the screen get over the same things I'm getting over and get closer to Him. That's why I truly believe you get closer to Him, by getting rid of the things separating you from Him, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's relationships, whether it's your career, your status, whatever it is between you and Him. I believe I've been sent here to help people out with that, to find peace. That's my overall goal for my life and to help other people too, or even your physique. So yeah, you gotta be able to forgive yourself. You gotta be able to just let's see yourself and say, hey, I thought it was the best thing to think about or believe. I gotta let that thing go. All right. So boom. Yes, I hope that helped. This is my final intro. If you have any questions, again, hit me up. I'll catch y'all. Peace out. Love.